What kind of music do you listen to? And for how long can you bear the sound to pierce your eardrums? Do you have one of those?
Why so serious? So raise your glass if you are wrong, in all the right ways, on the underdogs. We will never be anything but loud and nitty gritty, dirty little freaks. Won't you come on and raise your glass? Just come on and raise your glass.
The evolving technology has created a better world for us. Research conducted by World Health Organization found that 1.1 billion young people worldwide could be at risk of hearing loss due to unsafe listening practices. Nearly half of all teenagers and young adults between 12 to 35 years old in middle and high-income countries are exposed to unsafe levels of sound from the use of personal audio devices, and some 40% of them are exposed to potentially damaging sound levels at clubs, discos, and bars. You better believe your ears. Have you ever experienced this kind of situation?
Class, please submit your work now.
Okay.
Please submit your work now.
There are several causes of hearing loss, such as medications, infections, and plenty of sources of loud and whatnot. Affected people will exhibit these signs and symptoms. In many cases, hearing fades so slowly its departure goes unnoticed. You may think that people are mumbling more, your spouse needs to speak up, and the telephone is an inferior communication device. As long as some sound still comes in, you may assume your hearing is fine. Let's hear what the expert has to say about the issue.
Here is a model of the ear. This is the outer ear, which is the portion of the that's on, that you can see on the side of the head. That's the pinna, and it directs the sound down into the ear canal, which is, if you can look down in here, is the it terminates or ends at the eardrum, which is a little disc of tissue right down, quite deep down inside the ear, which transfers all the sound into the inner ear, which is deep inside the temporal bone or deep inside the skull, and it contains the parts of the ear which are responsible for detecting sound. And in particular, this part of the ear, which is called the cochlea. And the cochlea is like a little snail shell shaped structure, and it contains about 20,000 sensory cells, and each of those cells detects a different frequency of sound or a different pitch of sound. And it transfers those sounds and that information along the hearing nerve, which then goes back up into the brain and eventually up to the cortex and enables us to hear. And the noise exposure damages this part. It damages all of those little sensory cells inside the ear, and the reason that it causes the hearing loss in certain frequencies, so we can't hear high-pitched sounds, is because the sensory cells or hair cells which are affected by noise exposure are mainly the ones in the bottom here on the base of the cochlea, and they detect only high-pitched sounds. So the majority of damage that comes from noise exposure occurs to this part of the ear.
We've conducted several interviews to check on the public awareness pertaining the issue. Let's take a look.
Okay, are you an earphone or a headphone user?
I am an earphone user.
Earphone user.
Earphone.
Earphone.
Earphone. Earphone user.
Okay, untuk soalan kedua, berapa lamakah anda menggunakan earphone dalam satu penggunaan?
Saya menggunakan earphone dalam 1 hingga ke 2 jam.
Dalam 2 jam kot.
Dalam sejam. 3 hingga 4 jam.
3 jam?
3 hingga 4 jam.
About 3 hours.
Okey, untuk soalan ketiga, apakah tahap volume yang biasa anda gunakan? Adakah ia rendah, sederhana ataupun tinggi?
Saya menggunakan volume yang rendah.
Itu sederhana lah.
Kuatlah juga.
Use high.
6 atau 7.
8.
8. 7.
Pernahkah anda sedar tentang bahaya penggunaan earphone ataupun headphone yang bernada tinggi dalam tempoh masa yang lama?
Saya tidak pernah tahu tentang bahayanya earphone.
Akak tahu benda tu macam akan efek kesihatan kita.
Tahu, pernah dengar. Tak berapa pasti.
Saya tak pasti.
Tak pasti. I'm not sure.
As you can see, when you realize the effect of the loud noise and the disadvantages of using personal listening device, will you now take action and make the difference? Or would you rather stay in silence? Let's see how we concluded the issue.